Hello, you listen to The Fight Game with Tim McKain, and today I'm going to be interviewing Tripp Puckett from Matrix MMA Gym. He is a good boxer, man. I've seen him. He gets the crowd ready. He's amped up. He talks a lot of trash to his opponent, whether it's an opponent inside the ring or maybe a sparring member of the other team. I've seen him talk trash not only to the boxer, but to the boxer's corner and to the boxer's sparring partner. It's kind of like what Floyd Mayweather did when he fought Andre Berto back in the day. You know, when Andre Berto and him were going back and forth, Andre Berto was like, he can't read. And Floyd Mayweather was like, well, just because you got muscles don't mean you know how to fight. But as we know, Andre Berto, he's that real deal, but Floyd Mayweather is just an all-time great. But shout out to both fighters. But that's what I think about. When I saw Tripp Puckett do that, that's when I knew that this guy, he's a real deal. Heck of a fighter coming out of Matrix MMA. Matrix MMA is probably the most – I probably visited that gym more than any other gym when it comes to fighters. I used to go to – I need to actually go to Fitness Experience a little bit more. Shout out to Fitness Experience. That's where Adrian Soto Perez and Elias Bradley train. I need to go over there some more. But I've grown to have a lot of respect for the dogs, the OGs that they have over there. Tom Monroe, he's an OG. Shout out to Tom Monroe. Shout out to Jonathan Freeman. He just had a great performance yesterday. I was actually working with Trifecta Fight Network, led by Daniel Edward. Craig Scott, he is an announcer. He announced at Trifecta Fight 9. He also is an activist who I interviewed on The Conversation with Tim McKain. Great guy, great man of cause, great intellect. And we're actually about to put out a Trifecta Fight podcast that's going to be coming out. Lastly, I want to give a shout out to Patrick J. Smith, who I've interviewed on The Fight Game with Tim McKain. And I've also interviewed him on, not The Fight Game with I'm tripping, not The Fight Game with Tim McKain. I've interviewed him on Trifecta Magazine, which is a magazine that's about to come out shortly. And then I also interviewed him on, on the Sports Cycle on 105.1 Live this past Wednesday. He had a fight March 5th. He did lose that fight. I did expect him to win that fight, to be honest with you. Just looking at the height and the size difference, when you looked at the two and who he was fighting, you would have thought, you know what I mean, that there's no way that, this little guy is going to beat Patrick. Okay, it just didn't look that way. But looks can be deceiving. It's not about how a fighter looks. It's about the heart of the fighter. Not only the heart of the fighter, but also the skill, the will to win, the years of dedication and training. And that's one of the things that even as an analyst, I have to look at and say, okay, you always have to look at the great sports figures and you have to see how many years they put in training. Like the whole Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury bit. So for me, the very first fight, and even leading into the second fight, I'm like, okay, we already know that Deontay Wilder is not a better boxer than Tyson Fury. That's a fact. Hands down, he's not. He is not a better boxer. However, all he needed was one punch. All he needed was one punch to get the job done. I didn't see that. I didn't see that for Deontay Wilder in the second fight. The first fight, we all know what happened. Tyson Fury was doing his thing. He was beating him. He was winning. He was beating him fair and square. And Tyson Fury, got him with that right hand. And we know that right hand is real problems out here. Once that right hand with Deontay Wilder connects, it's a serious problem. And people can end up going to the hospital with that amount of power that Deontay Wilder has. But I'll tell you what, Deontay Wilder he gave him that right hand. Next thing you know, he's on the ground. But Tyson Fury, as we know, he gets up. And the rest is history. Now, some people say, I know Deontay Wilder, who's making claims that basically I'm actually getting a message from Tripp right now. He says, "Hey man, I'm about to get back on to that call." Okay, cool. So for that Tyson Fury fight, I do know that Deontay Wilder was like, well, the judge or not the judge, the ref was like, man, I can't believe that this ref he wasted the count. Basically, what Wilder was saying was that the 10 count was longer than a regular 10 count. But the fact of the matter is that Tyson Fury, he got up. He got up big time. And you saw what he did. He got up and he survived. Next thing you know, they fight again. Tyson Fury, he knows what Deontay is going to do. He knows exactly what he's going to do because he's been with him. It's another thing to know about a fighter and you never fought him before and you know his right hand is going to affect you. So you're a little tense, you're a little cautious because you don't know what to expect. But once you actually have experience with a fighter, then you know how he operates, how she operates. And we saw that in the second fight. So, I mean, that's just it, man. That's just it. So, let me see if I can get Tripp on the call. What's good, Tripp?
What's up, man? Not much, bro.
Yes, sir. Hey, so I got you on Zoom. We're going to just do this thing right now. So this is the Fight Game with Tim McKain. I am here with Tripp Puckett from Matrix MMA. Every time I've seen this brother fight, he puts on a show. He goes in for the crowd, full of energy, man. And this brother, he talks a lot of trash too. I've seen him not only talk trash to a boxer in the ring, I've seen him talk trash to the boxers outside the ring while he's beating up an opponent. I've seen this brother do it. I'm like, yo, this is some stuff right here. This is some Floyd Mayweather stuff. I was just telling him that this is some Floyd Mayweather stuff. Like Floyd Mayweather, Andre Berto. Basically, what was going on with that fight was Andre was torn, like Floyd was toying with Andre Berto. And then he was talking trash to him. Okay, he was talking trash to his family while he was beating up on Andre Berto. I was like, man, that's exactly what Tripp.
I saw that. Yes, what you talking about?
You know what I'm saying? But that's what you did. That's exactly what you did to him. So I gotta shout out to Tripp Puckett because only real G's do that. You a gangster for that.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
That's the energy we have here,
Yes,
man.
sir. So Tripp, how important is it for you personally to give the fans a show, to give the fans the energy that you provide in your fights?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I do this to fight. I don't do this for show. I don't do this for the crowd. I do this for me. I need this as a person. But, you know, we're doing this for one goal. And we got one place we're trying to be, and that's pro. And so in the long run, that's just part of it, man. I'm not here to I got to stay humble. I got to keep my mouth closed a lot of the time when normally I wouldn't. And that's kind of how I got into fighting, was because I was a trash talker. You know, I used to play football, man. I get out on the field and they're like, man, you can't punch somebody with a football helmet on, and man, it don't really work too well.
Yeah.
So now we're trying to remain humble, but at the same time, man, that's also part of the game. I mean, like you said, Floyd's the greatest, and he's pro, man. That's the type of energy he carries himself with. So that's always how I've been. That's how I'm gonna stay.
Exactly. But also, I want you to talk about the trash talking. You know what I mean? Because I've seen you do it not just in one fight, but two fights. How do you view trash talking? Do you see it as a mental thing, to like something that an opponent has to get through to beat you, or do you just like the trash talk?
Well, I feel like sometimes it's reciprocated. I think I just come out with an energy that can't be matched. I think I ain't always the one that starts it. I ain't always the one, because sometimes I'm underestimated, and when I get in there and they start to see what I'm really about, then I'm gonna go ahead and let them know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and let my mouth run a little bit, because they was underselling me to start with. So it's all about, you gotta sell yourself, so you gotta let them know what's up. That's just how I see it, man. If someone's gonna come in the ring with that kind of energy, a lot of guys fight with an angry, aggressive type energy.
Yep.
I'm gonna have an aggressive type energy, and I'm gonna let my mouth run at the same time, because, like you said, it's a mental thing.
It's a mental thing. Well, I want to continue on to the mental because I think this part is very important. As a fighter, as an athlete, as a human, everybody has these mental blockers that they have to deal with. Whether it's doing an assignment, whether it's running miles, whether it's boxing. How do you get past your mental blockers to push yourself to your highest level?
All right. Well, that's a good question, man. That's something that I work on every single day. That's a big part of this game. This is a solo sport, man. It's not a team sport. You're not gonna be able to lean on your brother on the line whenever you have a problem. You're gonna have to handle it yourself. And if you can't handle it yourself, it's not gonna be taken care of. You're gonna get knocked out. That's really just how it is. So at the end of the day, you got to have that mindset in everything you do. Like you said, whether it's an assignment, whether it's waking up to go to work, man, whether it's cleaning your house. I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, it all comes back together. Life is a solo sport, and so when you get into life and you get into fighting, it ties hand in hand. So, the energy I have in the gym when I train alone a lot of the time, man. I started working night times with Terrence and Todd and them, and I get in there on Sundays. But a lot of the time, man, I'm alone, and you have to be able to do that, man. You have to be able to get in the gym by myself and run 10, 15 rounds, and then go run 3 miles and not bullshit yourself, man. That's just the plain and simple truth. Is you owe it to yourself. You got to lean on yourself. You don't have your brother in the ring to lean on. It's a solo sport.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the last event that we both went to, we were at Trifecta Fight Night. Shout out to Trifecta. You requested from me to tell the DJ you wanted Key Glock. I forgot what the title of the song was, but is Key Glock is he going? What was the song? What was it?
Igloo.
Igloo. Okay. Yeah. Is Igloo your official walkout song?
Yeah, one time me and my brother we were driving down to ATL, man, and we were going down there to see some family, have a good time on the weekend. And we were talking about, man, at some point you got to pick a fight song, you got to pick a walkout song. That song came on, man, and we looked at each other and we were like, you know what, man, I think that's it. And it's just you can tell when the song comes on, and when I walk to the stage, that's just the energy that we carry. So that's really what we wanted to represent, was the energy that we enter the ring with, and that's it, man. That's it.
Absolutely, I love it.
That's that Tennessee Memphis guy, man. That paper route, man. Those guys know what's up. They make paper over there, so we're gonna try to do the same thing over here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So speak about the relationships and the brotherhood that you've had at Matrix MMA and how they've developed you as a fighter, as a boxer.
Absolutely. So I'll tell you, first thing, Todd Monroe, man. That guy that's the kingpin, man. He's running it, man. He's the godfather of what we're all doing out here. We look up to him, man. And the other guys in the gym, you got Tyler, you got DeWitt, you got Dalton. Those guys are pros, man. Those guys are damn near pros now. These guys are moving along exactly the way I'd like to move along. I'm 20 years old. I'm looking at guys who are mid to late 20s. I look up to a lot of these guys, especially Todd. I got Jay Bell in there as well. He's worked me since I was 17, man. Since I was 17, I got in there over at Lindley. That's where I started. And then he took me over and let me beat Todd because he figured that's where I thrive the most. Wow. It's definitely a brotherhood, man. I was in there Sunday morning for church. And
yes, sir, church.
And all it is, man, is you get in there with your brothers and you knock each other around because, that's a family affair. You rather beat your brother up every single day because, when you get in the ring with somebody else, you don't have to worry about it. You already know you and your brother are going to fight each other as hard as you can to get each other right for the next guy because the next guy don't want it like we do.
That's love. So Trifecta is having another event March 20th. I hope to see you there. Do you have plans to fight potentially March 20th? And also, when are the people going to see you fight? I want to see you fight at like one of these promotional boxing events, man. Like
these USA qualifiers?
USA qualifiers. Yeah, speak on that.
Exactly what it's on, man. You want me to speak on that?
Yes, sir.
I want to be extremely patient, and this is why. I'll tell you again, man, it's all about patience. Like I said, I'm 20. Me and Todd talked before. The idea for me to go pro is probably within 18 months. That's kind of our idea. Is it 21 to 22 is where I need to be going pro because
that's
I think another. I got back into this 6 months ago, man. I really, really started back on this 6 months ago. 12 months is another 2 rounds. Another 2 rounds really get me right. when my name is called to go over there, those NC qualifiers, I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna do my thing. I think everybody was probably looking for me, and I was happy about that, man. I even talked to the Haitian sensation on Thursday when I was over at Trifecta doing sparring on Thursday night. He was like, "You gonna be there?" And I was like, "Man, I don't think I have a matchup." I don't even think that 185 was a big. They didn't have a lot of 185 guys out there, if any, is what I was talking to Butterfly Freeman about.
Yeah, they had maybe one big fight, but like that. Other than that, nah.
Yeah. Wasn't a whole lot of matchups, and like I said, I can be patient. I can wait my turn because when I get out there, it's gonna be a different story.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, I'm just gonna let everybody know that Tripp Puckett, he brings a show. He brings superb energy, man. For real, he's the real deal, man. Hey, Tripp, I really appreciate you, brother, for coming on the show, man. Hey, man, we gotta do this again.
Absolutely, man. Like I said, there's gonna be plenty of ringside interviews to come.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate your time, brother. You have a blessed Sunday.
Thank you. You too.
Peace.